Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pre-show. That's the show that happens before the main show. I'm your host, Dust Me, and with me are some people who, limited but not to, including, uh, limited but not to including, Circuit?
Beep, beep, my head is in pain. Beep, beep, I'm in pain.
Oh, same. TM12,
Hi.
Suki.
You stay right the hell there, cat.
I will do what I want, Creature.
Hello.
Tech Stallion.
I have done nothing productive all day.
Oh, that's a mood.
Good for you.
CMC.
The heat was not told, so the fans blow other way now.
And I'm Cole.
May actually brain later.
And I'm your Coal of Dust, and I also have a headache. Yay! So, this is going to be pretty low-key pre-show this time around. We're not going to be doing anything too thrilling. It's going to be pretty much talk show and maybe some drawing. Maybe. We'll see. I'll give it a shot. We'll see how we do. I also don't know if my tablet drivers will cooperate with me today. They've been iffy. Last week, they did a thing where it's just started bugging out like crazy. Let me see if it does that today. Okay, cool. No, it's cooperating. Nice. So, it's been a weekend. I've done nothing. Very productive anyways. Just been tired. Everyone else been tired?
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, actually, yeah, you know what? I'll say yes, but it was kind of a weird tired because I did some productiveness and then right afterwards I zonked out for 2 hours, which completely destroyed the rest of my Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try, you take that, you're like, okay, this will be a quick 20-30 minute nap, get my batteries charged a bit, and I'll be ready to go and do more things because I want to do more things. You take that nap and you wake up and it's like, what the hell is that? You're just kind of stumbling around and you find another place to lay down, and then you lay down and you're out for another hour or so, and you wake up, it's like, what just happened? I went to take a nap and my entire worldview shifted to hell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I did do something. I made a peanut butter bread. Again.
Ooh. I wanted
Yes.
to make some of that.
You know what? Go ahead, please.
So, you know how there's that guy who's mostly known for his TikToks, but he's made like a few YouTube videos, about like,
Yep. Dylan Hollis.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Just the guy that makes all the old timey stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't think I've seen any of his old time stuff recently. Or is that me?
It appears in my Tumblr feed quite often. I saw one just today, actually.
Okay, maybe, I don't know. Maybe my TikTok just decided you don't want to look at this anymore. Go ahead and look at another politic thing that you don't care about and is slowly driving you mad.
Oh, I don't.
Just
I
go
don't have
find
a
their
TikTok,
page
so.
and start hitting all of the buttons, so that it just starts suggesting them.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing that. I'm so tired of politics. I don't care anymore.
Oh, that's a mood. That is a mood.
I can't, it's hard not to be in that mood. Every other minute, it's like we're doomed for destruction. Our democracy is ending. Everything is gone to shit.
All right,
and
before
everything
things
is-
get too
Yeah.
real, too real for the pre-show, we're all trying to escape that. We
You know
this
what?
is
Yeah,
this is escapism media here. So let's
okay.
How
You're
about I
absolutely
just
right.
point
'Cause-
out that the recent episodes of Bluey are adorable, and you need to be ready because they hit at the heartstrings.
Okay. I've not seen the newest ones yet.
You know
but
what?
we're getting
You know
there.
what? Here, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead give a peace offering. I also did try doing some baking earlier this week myself with
Ooh.
some bread, whole wheat bread. I actually got a cookbook a while ago. Of course you don't. I got a cookbook that was called "Make the Bread by the Butter." Basically, gives you recipes for things for everything that you can possibly make in a normal staple thing. Like you can even make butter, but it'll tell you is it better to actually make the stuff or just buy it from the store and save yourself some grief. So they had a recipe for bread in there. which looked pretty simple, and I had all the ingredients. And and I've had some yeast that's been sitting in my cupboard for a few months now, and it's actually just on the cusp of about to it hit its best by date. So it's probably going to start losing its ability to be yeasty soon, if it hasn't already started to happen. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and bake some bread. Get a little bit of whole wheat flour there, a little bit of all-purpose flour there, some salt, some water, mixing, getting it all together. Normal, happy, wonderful bread stuff that you do.
Actually,
And go ahead.
oh, actually, I'll get into my thing afterwards because I got bread making story too.
Yeah. Now I make the bread and then I follow the recipe, everything that it says for me to do in this recipe, which surprisingly, no sugar, no butter. Basically it's flour, it's water, it's yeast. Now that I think about it, it was surprisingly well. No, it also recommended flaxseed, which I had a bag, but it expired 5 years ago. The smell that came from this thing when I opened it, ungodly. I should have thrown it away long ago, but yeah, I tossed that out, obviously. And I instead tried putting in some maple syrup, not real maple syrup. I was practicing. I put in the stuff that calls itself maple syrup, but it's pure fructose corn syrup.
Oh.
Yeah,
So Mrs. Butterworth.
pretty much. It was log cabin, really, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah.
So I get all of that mixed together. I put it in baking pans. I bake it for the recommended amount. I take them out of the baking pans. I put the bread directly on the rack for the rest of the recommended amount. It's supposed to crisp it up and make it nice and crispy outside with still fluffy inside, kind of. And I get it out, and of course I try to cut into this thing, and it's basically a flour brick. This thing has an outside, the likes of which I had I couldn't get through it with a bread knife. I had to go full on saw knife to cut through this thing. Granted, yeah, the inside was nice and fluffy, but the outside was beyond crisp. This is the kind of thing where if you throw it at somebody, you're gonna brain them with the outside of this thing.
So it was that hard?
It was that hard. It was amazingly hard. So now I get
Somebody please take that out of context.
Yeah, I'll take it out of context that you want. These were foot long loaves. Have fun with it. Thick, fat loaves.
You're not
Hard
helping
blood.
your case.
Moving on though.
If anyone ever had a hard on for bread, now would be the time.
I got to cut. I got to slice out. I go to my jelly. I've had this jelly in my fridge for a few months now, admittedly, and I open it up and it's got mold in it. And I'm just like, no! Why is everything I'm trying to use expired or dying? And the worst part is the jelly wasn't supposed to expire for another year. So that was a whole.
Remember that's a sell-by date.
I know it's a sell-by date. I'm just still annoyed.
And in general, once a pop is is popped on jams or jellies, it will it has a limited shelf life.
Yeah. I will say though, the fact that it was, I'll be honest though, that usually they do last a little, like you said, a couple of months. Like I've definitely had jellies last like 5 months in the fridge.
All honesty, I don't know when the last time is I actually used this jelly, and this was going to be my chance to finally get through it because I seem to never make pancakes anymore, or at least not as much as I used to. So, yeah, I toss it out. I find a substitute to use for the bread, and I get it smothered in. I get nice and cozy, nice cup of coffee. I'm just like, okay, let's have a nice snack slice of bread and give in to the serotonin of accomplishing something and, being good to myself by making self-made stuff instead of from the store. And I take a good old bite, and boy, the salt that I suddenly tasted filled my mouth quite nicely.
So you had a salt patty with flour.
It was more like I had McDonald's fries instead of any other fries. More salted than you would expect it to be.
Did you use baking flour and not all-purpose flour?
No, I used an all-purpose flour. What I did is and this is the dumb part. I thought I figured out how conversion works from going from one size to the next. because I've 8 ounces is 1 cup, 1/2 a cup is a full cup. What I thought was 2 teaspoons is the equivalent of a tablespoon.
No, it's 3 to 1.
It is a 3 to 1, but because I did that, I dumped in about 50% more salt than I should have, which unfortunately was enough to off-kilter the bread.
Oh no.
Lovely.
So I did finish a slice. I just said, well, and my serotonin turned into salt, into some sort of weird salt thing. I gently took the bread, hucked it out of my front door into the lawn. Have at it, you damn birds! I can't. I
Good
would
luck
not.
trying to eat that, birdies.
Any bird will say no.
So far, they kind of haven't. No, I don't think they've touched it since I hucked it out there. But
Even birds are smart enough. I can't eat this shit. It'll break my beak.
Squirrels or the coons might go for it.
yeah, I went out there and stomped it to little bits in little dust pieces though. So now it'll something will eat it eventually, or it'll just reincorporate into the ground. So yeah, I'm
Why
not
has all
wasting
my
it per
grass died?
se. My grass is already dead. You know, my grass is already dead. Don't
How
give me
many
that.
times have you done this?
No. I got a bigger problem than that. Right now, Utah has a major drought issue. The grass I had was not made for low moisture conditions, and unfortunately, I also have a major problem with what's not a barley, hair barley. I got a hair barley issue.
A what?
What?
Hair barley. It's a weed. It's kind of a weed, but kind of not. But because of the way it's not exactly a weed, it's not classified as one. And a lot of weed killers don't go after it. But it's a very quick growing plant that it's usually grown way early in the spring when it's at its best, while the rest of the actual grass is coming in, so that it can feed livestock. But
Okay.
but it's basically that's pretty much what it's used for. It's mostly just kind of a way to feed livestock, or livestock at least feed off of it in the early spring until the actual grass comes in for them to eat. The problem is, though, it is relentless. It is a very strong, a very aggressive, a very, very aggressive grass.
It spreads its roots thick, and it's enough that it chokes out the basic grasses.
Yeah, at least the basic grasses. If you're not able to water properly and really grow a thick grass to take its place in it, because it's already dead. It came in real hard in the March. It died by the middle of May, and now I have a yard that is so yellow that I'm actually afraid for 4th of July fireworks.
And now Circuit has explained as to why out in those desert states, most people just do rocks.
Yes, don't just do rocks, please. If you're going to live in the desert and you want a yard, don't. Or at least go do your research. There are some grasses that are very high, that are very water tolerable. Buffalo grass is one. It's actually a really good one for Utah states. But yeah, no, do your research. Don't just get the normal whatever grass they give you stuff, because it wasn't even meant for the United States. It was because a bunch of rich guys had a hard on for freaking English lawns.
That sounds about right.
Oh, you like it dirty, don't you?
Oh, look at those English lawns. I could have high tea here in Washington. Nobody drinks tea in Washington. What the hell are you thinking?
That just reminds me
DC.
of that the book cover that I saw for Lusty Outdoor Furniture.
Lusty.
Yes.
What?
Lusty.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we like to be dumbasses about these like non-native species. There's the whole thing down here in Georgia where for years we had the whole kudzu issue because somebody was like, hey, this shit might help keep our water clean. Oh, what do you mean it takes over everything?
They never do the research. They just think
Or they never read the fine print.
Yeah. Kudzu. I also have a kudzu issue nearby too, so I can't say I'm innocent. I'm free of the kudzu problem too. Kudzu sucks, everybody. I have cut it down every single year. It does not go away. And guess what, Mike Nice? I do have a permit for a bread weapon. In fact, I'm making an Elden Ring weapon of it. You just go in there and start smacking up people with bread. It's brilliant.
So it's classified as a club.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, who did this adorable corner art?
Risu.
Oh.
Yes, Risu.
Anyway.
They had a YCH going this year, for Pride Month. You had up until the 12th of June to like get it. So yeah, well worth. I got one for Feather too. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it'd help if I wasn't looking at my own art folder.
Funny enough, losing my mind on bread actually has made my headache go away a little bit. Either that or the ibuprofen finally kicked in.
Hell yeah.
Yay, venting.
Speaking of bread and story, as I said, I made peanut butter bread. Oh, here you go. That's the one I got for Feather. Yeah.
Adorable.
Very. They're precious. Also, Rusu does really great art. I have commissioned them multiple times. He's great. Let me see. I know there's more in this folder.
Gun.
Scroll.
Don't worry, Mike. I can see both chats.
Uh,
Right. You're on stream with that folder. You have a folder named shit, I guess?
Yeah, that's... So, that is the folder for either... It's full of whips that I've drawn for people, and it's full of a bunch of weird shitposty-esque images, and also train pictures, because train pictures just end up in everything that I have.
You know, that checks out 100% in every way.
I've got this lovely petting gif of the train guy, the Bachman. I have this beautifully cursed thing.
What the hell is that?
It's
Bacon Express.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I have got to see what's going on here. Actually trying to be constructive. Oh my god! That was a pig.
Yes, it was. Now it's a shork.
Jork.
that looks like a meme crossed with death by Photoshop. Or no, death by PowerPoint.
If you ever wondered how they transported cars back in the day, this is how. They would literally just kind of like have them in boxcars. But what you can't see in this photo is there's actually a racking system, so that way you can basically put a car over another car. It's a very weird system. I don't think I've got a photo of that in here though. I've got photos saved to my phone. The perfect burger.
Hey, honestly, I might eat that if
Not
those are
pickle.
dill. I love
No.
dill pickle. I love a good dill pickle. If that's a good dill, I'd probably actually eat it.
No, that upsets me. It's got pickles and mustard. I ain't going near that.
This is a this is one of the old-fashioned canal boats that they used to have. Basically like serving anywhere from the Chesapeake Bay to Lake Champlain, and it was basically it had a sail. So once it got out of the canals and it got to a major waterway, instead of having to pay for a tow, they could just basically unfold the sail, like extend the mast upward. It was able to fold down, and you could like extend it upwards so that way you could just travel under the power of the wind to whatever harbor you are transporting your goods with. So yeah.
Wait, did you just say this could be a tall ship or a low ship?
Kinda. It's a canal boat, so it had to be design. It was designed in such a way that the sail could be retracted down, so that way you could make it under the low bridges of the canal system.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Yep. And going through the canal, you basically just were towed along by like an ox or whatever.
I wonder
Who
if
keeps
one of
joining
these is
and leaving the
pulled
Discord?
into the tall ship
tech.
celebrations. Because
If you're having
the
issues.
way those things work would definitely be something interesting to see at the tall ship celebrations.
It's a very interesting concept. It fell out of popularity though, because one thing that they began to realize was because you needed all the extra space for the mast, that kind of impeded on how much you could carry, and in the end, a lot of canal boat operators decide against the idea of using the sail, because it just kind of, as far as like the cost of getting a tow to harbor versus like the amount of money that you'd make with the extra goods, it didn't really make sense to keep the sail as part of the design. So you began to see that fall out of favor, and then also you began to see the inclusion of the motorized with like a little one-stroke engine or whatever in later years too, like as you get out of the 1800s, I should say. I'm not sure what year exactly though. I haven't looked as deeply into it. I know that wasn't shit posty, but it was a nerdy thing, so I felt like going into it. Oh, and then there's this.
That's horrifying.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
This,
Why?
This was a thing that terrified me in childhood.
It terrifies
Why
me
do you
now.
exist?
So in Pennsylvania there was and is still an amusement park called Kennywood, and they had this horrifying laughing animatronic doll thing that was like outside of the train ride, and I think it was called like Laughing Sal, and like it would play a horrifying laughing noise and just be generally terrifying, and they had it outside of the train ride, and I was terrified of it as a kid.
Something that didn't translate with time.
No, they were originally designed to be basically a thing to attract people to an attraction, like grab people's attention. I would think it would have the opposite effect personally, but 1900s
I mean,
people.
if they didn't
built
exist,
different.
if there wasn't too many of them in the past, I can imagine somebody being attracted just because you never saw something like that before. But yeah,
They were
It's got
common at amusement parks and stuff. And
yeah,
like,
nowadays that has horrible
Yeah.
FNAF energy now.
Yeah, they had no idea how to keep up with the times, like Action Park.
Action Park was a lot later though.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's still. I just had to take the opportunity to make a joke about Action Park.
Sorry, I'm out of the loop. What's Action Park?
Action Park is a place you didn't actually ever want to go to.
This
Basically,
is true.
it was a place run by a guy that was basically like, you know what, fuck safety standards.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. It just clicked. Yeah, it was on Distractable. They talked about it on Distractable.
Yeah, and it's actually a movie that's actually a kind of a mockumentary that was made. It actually stars Johnny Knoxville as the guy that basically ran the place or started the place. And during the filming of like recreating some of these things, Johnny Knoxville I think broke like several bones because of the rides that were there.
I didn't see the mockumentary, but there was also a documentary that was made that's on HBO Pepsi Max that I saw that. It was like
yeah. If you want to see the mockumentary with Johnny Knoxville, it's called Class Action Park.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Did somebody actually die there? I don't think.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. somebody died.
That's
multiple,
what I
Yeah,
heard.
I think.
No, I just couldn't remember because there were some parts you hear of that they were like dangerous beyond belief, but somehow nobody ever died. But I
No,
guess
it was let me see, because I know it was somebody died on the one that was like it was basically like it was essentially a sled ride where the sledding course was concrete.
Oh, that's a recipe for
And
Oh
disaster.
yeah, and then that guy flew off and then basically smashed his head on some rocks that were supposed to be removed.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was blunt trauma that killed him or if it was like essentially a decapitation.
That one wasn't a decapitation. That was like it was blunt trauma. He was bleeding in the
Okay.
hospier afterwards.
Okay. But then there was there's a story of there was also like when he would hire just local teenagers to work at the park and stuff. And these would also be the same people that he would just like they would just be there he'd be making a new thing. And he'd just be like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 to test it."
the literal definition of crash test dummies.
Like they had a water slide that had a loop on it, and what the guy that was telling his story was literally talking about how he went down, didn't make it up, and kind of like and possibly hurt himself coming back down the loop. Had to climb out of the slide to get back, and then then he just reported that he didn't make it through. So they're like, okay, let's raise the water pressure.
Yeah.
He goes back in. This time gets stuck at the top of the loop.
Oh, jeez.
And hurts himself again.
Oh.
And they didn't think anything of this. He was just like, screw it, I'm making money.
How hard up would you have to be to go through that kind of
These were
pain?
teenagers. These are teenagers in like the 70s.
Also,
Well, that would explain it.
Literal crash test dummies.
Also, it made the record show that in that time at Action Park, a lot of the staff got drunk. So
yeah,
you would have to be drunk to survive working a shift of that without feeling guilt.
I mean, on that same ride, they actually did throw a mannequin down the ride, and it came out without its head.
Beautiful.
Well, to be fair, a mannequin's neck is not as sturdy as a human neck.
Yeah,
no,
by just barely, pretty much.
It still makes for a hell of a story.
It still doesn't bode well when if you break your neck, you might actually die. Because if it's not too much of a difference, who's to say that won't be your neck? Oh God, not that picture.
Yeah, that picture.
Yeah, me and Creature got this one last week.
Yeah, that was the perfect. That's a perfect reaction image.
It is.
I just wish I could crop it out and put that into our server. I would love that.
I mean, I can, but
would you?
Let me try and find it again.
Oh, the perfect reaction image for when someone draws my horse.
You sent it to me directly. That'd probably help.
I did. I have it.
Okay.
How much of it do you want cropped?
Probably at least let me get a quick good look at it here. If anybody's curious what I'm doing right now, I am literally going through hundreds of wallpapers and dumping them into our massive 1,000+ image wallpaper folder. So we have more random images to finally come up because I haven't updated this thing in forever.
Yes, this was like the sketch for one of the mid-air drawings that I did like 2 years ago.
If we get it just above the neck strap there, maybe.
I need to work on my drawing because I used to draw such cute stuff. Damn.
Oh, thinking of the mid-air stuff while I was at the Winnie City, talking with the folks that ran the trivia panel. If we could ever get the insanity that we did for the Midnight Marinara in an open answer format, insane.
I mean, can't we just make our own Quiplash things?
Yeah, wouldn't be exactly difficult. And hell, we get into the right
there's-
convention. You can get like into a late night panel and just like have at it.
I will say, when it comes to doing a panel where there's like a open, anybody can write whatever they want answers, I've become more and more hesitant to that over the years.
No, I get
because,
I
like,
kind of get that.
Yeah, people can come up with some stuff that's like really funny fucked up, and then stuff that's like, cool, I wish you hadn't said or thought that ever.
Congratulations, we're probably all on a list now because of you.
Yeah.
So what you
that's
do
why you
is
make
you
it so they have to be in teams, so they have to be trying for the sake of the others on their team.
I don't trust people, man.
Actually, I know there is some way. There are some Jackbox games and stuff like that that let you moderate the answers. You can actually sift through them real fast before they're allowed to go through. Granted, I don't 100% know. Ooh, that's a head.
That's
her name is Sunny, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
No, my headache just.
Yeah, your head's name is Sunny. Also, don't worry about that. Where's the
I'm Sunny.
talk,
Yeah.
TikTok. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I'll have to say I've been watching too much. I've been watching a bunch of like random train shit recently.
Ooh, do tell.
Like I saw some videos about like how like certain what's going on with certain projects and stuff like that. Like how the California high speed rail is like is kind of a mess still.
Yeah, it is still kind of a mess, but I will say that when it comes down to it, so depending on which one we're talking about, I think it's like Caltrans, I believe, is the one that's like a total mess, but then there was also another one, there was a high-speed rail project where it's going over budget a lot, but they're actually trying to make infrastructure that is meant to, like, be current and not just the American standard for what high-speed rail should be, which is not good. But, yes.
Yeah. But it actually watching some of that stuff made me realize how, yeah, you know what? I don't know how easy it would be to truly get like a national network of it, but honestly, I think regional high speed rails would probably be one of the best things.
Oh yeah.
Like just like honestly like the whole California thing, and honestly like down here in the southeast, I can just imagine if you had a system to where you could go from like here in Atlanta up to like Nashville, basically through Chattanooga up to Nashville, then like all the way down through the major Florida cities, and then you could also go out west to where it goes out to Birmingham, then down through like maybe Jackson, Mississippi, down to you could either then you go through like I'd say go through Baton Rouge in Louisiana, not New Orleans, just for possible safety.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and then either you can stop it there or even go out west to Houston, maybe.
I can see that.
Yeah, but like something like that where you can like basically connect, like I can just imagine like how like that something like that would be really cool. Oh yeah, because then you go out east to I mean you can have little spur offs, like not have like true high speed rail to go to certain places. Like you could have a high speed rail go from Atlanta to like Greenville, South Carolina, then just have like a regular rail system that goes from like Greenville down to like Hilton Head, something like that.
Yeah. I have to say, like, high speed rail is something that, like, if we went about it right and in the right places, would be something very practical and very good for the US to invest in. At the same time, I feel like there are enough people on board with the idea to actually get anywhere with it. When it comes down to it, it is an investment for a public service, but like a lot of people don't see railways as a public service. Like one way to look at it is like when every time that people talk about Amtrak and how much it costs and stuff, and they always say, oh, Amtrak is losing this much money a year, and it's like, cool, but Amtrak is indeed a public service, and when it comes to other public services, like, say, the highway system. No one ever says that the cost of maintaining the highway is, oh yeah, we're losing this much money a year on the highway. Even though we are, because, like, people will be like, oh, but anyone can use the highway. You don't need to buy a ticket to use the highway. It was like, but you gotta buy a car, and you gotta pay gas, and that and that sort of stuff.
Lots
Yeah.
of lots
The
of
registration, and all that other junk.
It's like there are other equivalents there, but no one ever says that the highway is losing money, despite the fact that it technically is, because anyone with the proper licensing and stuff can just kind of drive trucks down the highway, and trucks have gotten bigger over the decades, and also they cause the most damage to highways. And, like, in the grand scheme of things, even if the minimum thing we wanted to do was shift more freight onto the railway instead of trucking so much stuff, like, which would that would do immense things for, like, the cost of maintaining those highways and stuff. Like, even if we were to just do that would make a pretty major impact, but, like, I don't know. I think I kind of lost track of where I was going with this, but
also, it's kind of funny you talk about that budget thing, and the video I saw in one of the videos I watched on the California high-speed rail brought up a good point. The original Shinkansen project in Japan was budgeted originally at like 200 billion yen at first, but it ended up costing 400 billion.
Yes.
By the end of it, but guess what? Nobody ever talks about that.
It's
they
true.
Just, you know what everybody says? Damn, they've got a good rail system.
Yeah. Also, is this video by Alan Fisher? Because this sounds a lot like the video by Alan Fisher.
I don't know. I think I watched it. I think I just watched it like within the last few days, so maybe I can pull it back up. But well, I'll do that after this round of Gambit and Destiny.
Yes.
Back to the topic of safety regulations at parks. I wonder how many loose ends or cracks fell through the floor at circuses or carnivals.
Oh, did you ever see that that image of apparently one of those I can't remember those rotating ship things?
Cups?
No, it's a pirate ship that kind of like that's
that goes in a loop.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a video out there. You could probably still find it where somebody didn't bolt it right, or it lost its footing, and it's starting to sway like crazy. All of these people run for it to try to hold it down while they try to get it to stop, so it doesn't end up falling over and crushing seat people. Though, granted, I don't know if they actually helped. They may have actually risked their lives and probably could have gotten crushed. But it's still amazing to see because it's completely bonkers.
I never went on those rides whenever those carnivals or circuses when it came to my small town. I was just either too afraid or too smart not to go on to one of those rides.
I will say, as far as like carnival rides and stuff go, I haven't really done anything with carnival rides since high school, and part of the reason is when I was in high school, I went to the fair with my friends and some friends of their friends that I didn't really know, and we decided to go on the Ferris wheel, and I'm already afraid of heights. I will say that.
Oh, here we go. Okay, take a look. Oh, creature! I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah, did you get? Is this where I think it's going?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah,
Did you get stuck up there?
No, we didn't get stuck up there. But when we were at the top, that was the moment when one of the friends of friends decided to go, "Hey, do you want to see something cool?" And the middle pillar that is holding us aloft, it has a sleeve on it, basically a metal tube, a metal pipe, and he just lifts it up, revealing the 2 pins that are holding us aloft, and I was terrified.
That's not cool.
It's like, that is not the thing to
wheel.
Yeah.
That's not cool. That is terrifying.
Very. And so ever since I've not I have avoided Ferris wheels, and also they cost money, so that's also a reason not to go on them.
You know, that's an absolute valid point.
Here, pay money to risk your life.
If I'm honest, the main thing that I go
It's
to the
the
fair
ultimate
for,
thrill you never knew you wanted.
the main thing I go to the fair for now, aside from the model train display that I take part in, is just the food. Because I like
Oh,
food.
the food is a treat, even though they overcharge you sometimes.
It's delicious. You know it's taking years off your life, but don't matter because it's tasty.
I don't know. The rate this life is going, I'm okay with taking off a few years.
Oh, that's a mood. Anyways,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry.
So I like how on this ride they don't have like any kind of stop for it. They just have to let it rock back and forth until it's like stops on its own.
I know it's completely bonkers, and I'm glad that everybody was okay. But wow, could you imagine seeing that happen? You would never want to ride anything again.
So speaking of Ferris wheels, Cole, I take it you're not down to go on the Seattle Pier Ferris wheel.
You know what? I'd actually be more okay with going on to carnival rides and stuff that have been there for. They basically are bolted to the ground and been there forever. The carnival rides that are literally not there 1 week, pop up for the next, and then gone the week after that. Those are the ones that scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
make you wonder
I
how
agree with
safe
that.
are these if they are gone by the next day.
Yeah, if they're able to literally move them to the next city after a few days, how smart would it be to ride these things? Even worse when they're not even necessarily on like a grassy ground. Sometimes they put them in the middle of a parking lot, so it's like, yeah, if you fall over, you you don't even have the small smidgen of hope that the grass might save you. No, you are hitting rock. You are hitting asphalt. You are hitting some asphalt, man. You will feel something if you feel anything at all. But,
that awkward moment when the thing that you use, oh, that's interesting.
You know, that's probably the one thing that bugged me out the most when I saw those carnival rides. Just literally seeing it in the back of a mall parking lot, literally on a parking lot. It's just like, there are so many reasons why this shouldn't be here, and now I never want to ride it again.
I mean, yeah, like it's been a thing for a while, but no.
When
Just
when you see it, it does something to you. Knowing about it is one thing, but actually seeing it in full glory, it just. By the way, I think I've saved over 200 different images into my wallpaper folder now for the show.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
That seems
Wow.
dangerous.
I remember like way back in like 2012 watching the show, and one of my favorite backgrounds I would see all the time is just Sweetie Belle being dragged by her Rarity being dragged by her horn through random landscapes.
Oh, I love that! I'm so glad I still have those.
I'm glad you
magic
do
was,
too.
Her magic had a mind of its own.
That was just like that was like old. That just brings back some old Brony Show nostalgia. I used to watch the archives back then. Shoutouts to the people who watch the archives, because I was one of them too.
Yeah, shout out to all of you people, even though I don't know if you'll actually hear
archivers.
this. Yay,
Yeah.
archivers!
Yay, archivers! If you watch the pre-show in archive, you're wonderful. I don't know why you do, but thank you.
Yeah, my thumbs up there. That's awesome stuff. That's awesome.
Okay, you maybe want to go back through my old background folder, and at one point I had one of Discord in the style of Diablo.
Topical.
Do you want it?
Actually, I kind of do. I like that.
There.
Oh, you know
There,
what?
enjoy.
By the way, Cole. Yes, it was.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, the video. Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say, it sounded awfully familiar. I watched quite a bit of his stuff. Yeah. Also, he did a Q&A recently with Justin Rosniak, who is the host of Well, There's Your Problem, a podcast about engineering disasters, with slides.
I have come across random videos, and the algorithm kind of stuck with me on Facebook was Adam Ruins Everything. I am learning some unfortunate stuff I never thought I would.
I like Adam Ruins Everything, but at the same time, I feel like I really need to do some of the research of the stuff he talks about, because some of it is really doom and gloom in some ways.
Yeah.
Reality life is stranger than fiction, Circuit.
Yeah, no, I don't argue that. I'm sure it's pretty accurate, but take everything that you learn in media with a grain of salt.
That is true. Always find multiple sources. That is also something that is true when it comes to railroad research, which reminds me, I found a thing that I need to double check in its sources because it is hilarious if it is true. And also, it sounds like it wouldn't be true, but also knowing this railroad, it probably is, but I cannot verify it yet. I need to find another source and ask around.
Speaking of the railroad,
wait, hang on, I've got a story.
Okay.
Let me go into it. All right. So just recently this week, I picked up my 10-book series. I think it's 10 book. It might be 11. I'm not sure. I'm bad at counting. On the Rutland Railroad. It is called The Rutland: 60 Years of Trying.
Oh, ow!
It's accurate, I will say. They tried. If there was ever a railroad in New England that had all the cards stacked against it, it was the Rutland. And anyways, so I was looking through the equipment roster because there were some lists of equipment roster dating back to 1913 or whatever. And it skips quite a few years, but there was the 1931 roster, the 1946, the 1953, and the 1962. Anyways, I was looking through it, and there was this one freight car that kind of piqued my attention. It was slightly better in spec than all the other freight cars on the Rutland Railroad at the time. It was a boxcar, exterior post. I can find an image of it real quick. And it was weird because it was the only one. And typically railroads, when they buy for equipment, they buy multiples at a time. And this particular one, I actually knew a little bit about it. Whoops, that's a model. Okay, here we go. Let me make that bigger. I don't know if I can. That's good enough. So, this freight car, the Rutland acquired it in a weird way. It derailed on their line at some point in between the 1920s and 1931. And basically, I didn't know why, but after the derailment, it was written off in the insurance, and then eventually it made its way into the Rutland Railroad roster after some repairs, which is weird because typically it goes back to the hands of whatever railroad. So I had no idea why there was this case difference. As it would turn out, this particular car had a derailment in kind of a weird place. It fell through a trestle on Lake Champlain, specifically towards Larrabee's Point, Vermont, towards the Narrows. And apparently it sat at the bottom of the lake for 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Negligence at its finest.
It sat at the bottom of the lake for 3 years, so that's why they wrote it off in the insurance. It was like, it's lost forever, whatever, who cares? apparently after that point they eventually fished it out again, and they were like, shit dude, this is better than all the rest of our boxcars, we should add this to our roster. So after sitting at the bottom of a lake for 3 years, they just kind of brought it into the shops, did a bit of basic work to it, gave it a repaint, and there you go. And that's the story of this one peculiar boxcar. So yeah, it's more amusing to me than anyone else. But yeah. Also, another thing too.
It was funny.
Apparently, the railroad by the 1960s, in its equipment registry, had an airplane. I have no idea why.
What?
Yeah. If it was in the 1930s, yeah, I could see it. But this is in 1962. I don't know why they had an airplane. At any rate, the Rutland Railroad, fun to look into if you ever are looking for a random obscure New England railroad that is just kind of weird. So yeah.
My brain stopped functioning.
Oh yeah, what I was gonna say, I found my old train book, history of steam trains, when I was a kid.
Nice.
I was quite obsessed with trains when I was 6 or 7 or 8. I can't remember the exact name.
It's never too late to start
Age.
again.
But ironically, I don't know how, but it got misplaced again.
Heck. You should find it.
Jeez, why is the book always gone?
Wait, no, I'm not gonna use that YouTube. I'm gonna use Circuit's YouTube.
Yes, use my YouTube.
So you can have the song too. Oh, okay, I got distracted.
Oh, I just realized I lost the reference picture I was using. Okay. Oh, hey, it's about time to end. So, hey, Brony show's after this. So, okay, what's going on? What are you doing?
We're gonna hopefully my headache will diminish here a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and defend the bank. Along with that, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's not intended to be a topic of discussion, but I have a feeling we're also gonna end up talking longer than expected about recent development, and unfortunately, we basically have to play like that, like USA and Little Hitler. Now it's my problem.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's an
Robot
old,
Chicken.
Robot Chicken, yeah.
Oh.
Little Hitler's taking all the desk. USA, do something. Hey, it's not my problem. Then Japan comes up and just like kicks his desk. He's like, now it's my problem. It's really stupid shit, but yeah.
It's stupid, but true.
Very much so.
Circuit, can you remind me what the protest initiative was and what the original entry thing was?
The original entry was Sandwich. The protest challenge was a pond monster.
Sandwich and pond monster.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Sandwich. So moist and delicious.
Okay. I'm going to see what InfraKit has to say about that.
Okay. On that note, it's time to end. Stick around for the Brony Show after this.
Ta-ta.